Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian at Whisper Status 74. I'm actually at my wife's job trying to help them figure out how to replace this projector for this conference room. I can't disclose what company I'm in, but when you're looking at the size of the conference room and the technology that was used here, from plugging in, VGA, and trying to figure out how to best incorporate newer technology. Now, when you look at the speakers that are all through the ceiling, there is more than 16 here. I have to be careful not to show any kind of logo of the actual building. Actually close this cabinet. But I think you guys will appreciate the technology and how high-end that it was. So this is a screen that can be written on this side, and the projector on the other side sends the image backwards through here so they can actually see. Now, if you look at this, they actually had a Crestron that's familiar with this brand, as well as all these old school, lifting the, there's another screen here, which is not 16:9, which does still roll down. This is, I believe, it's 100 plus inches, and we've replaced that with an 86 LG that we picked out for this room. You can see how much cabling was used, and again, all of these old school buttons and podium. Now, the idea was they would basically plug in here and transfer to the monitor or to the projector. So they're going to be redoing this entire table. The size of this room. It just show you that, even an 86-inch TV is still only going to be temporary here. Now, you guys will be shocked that the speakers that are actually in here, I'm about to show those to you because there's a spare one in the box. This whole room is going to be getting redone, and priced a couple TVs for them. Some of them are just Samsung and used for small conference rooms, but here we'll be showing you the TV that's going to go in this room here. This is the LG. This is from Costco. A lot of you guys have a lot of questions about this specific display. 86 inches, it's very affordable. They need it primarily for bright room, and they don't really need a lot of the functionality of more expensive displays at this size. I don't want them to have to spend so much money. It's funny, you think of companies, they still have to be price conscious on where they're going to spend their money. Putting a big Q90R on the wall and not using HDR doesn't make much sense. But once we get this bad boy up, we'll go through it and we'll see how it performs, and I'll be able to convey that to you guys. Now, this is a much older conference room here that they've kind of pushed off to the side, but you can see this is the projection on the other side. This is actually a chalkboard here to write on, which is fascinating. Ugh. And there's the other side of the projector that shines through. I mean, talking about old school, even some non-smoking signs, they put that up as a joke, which is funny. But, it is going to be used in this room too. They're going to put another display up here. But again, all the technology, old school microphones, all this here, even, old school phone, where in big companies like this, everything just kind of gets pushed into another room to make the other room as clean as possible. We can think about the amount of money spent to have to remodel rooms like this. The TV is definitely going to be an afterthought. For instance, could you imagine having to remodel this table? What that would cost to make this more modern, to put USBs on it, put technology through it. The inside of this table is hollow, so you can fit all the technology inside, but updating it would be immensely expensive. So going into the room here, here's your Crestron system. Cable box, little IT cabinet. But when you look at the back and you realize how much wiring that just isn't necessary these days, you're going to be replacing all that with wireless speakers, and probably Sonos. You have an amp here And what this old room here was designed for was to have that projector spin around and show the image on both rooms. What you guys will also appreciate, you guys that are older like me, is this was their former IT cabinet. And if you guys remember, the 80s tape decks had this wood finish, and they have, you know, old school slide projector in here. But they're looking to redo this entire room. But what I think is also fascinating, if I don't break my neck, because they're looking to get rid of this entire room. So here's the other side of the projector on this side, and then the other side being here. And there is a Sony Bravia projector. It's actually 1080p, a little ahead of its time, thousands of dollars when it was first bought. And though it has HDMI, its main interface is VGA. And what they're seeing is all this converting is losing picture quality. They can't even really make out the images. I mean, that's really, really detailed. But I want to show you these speakers that are actually in the ceiling now that unfortunately are going to end up in the garbage. B&Ws. It's what I have in my house as far as my surround sound. Very, very beautiful speakers. B&W, one of my favorite speaker brands. They're brand new. If you guys really want to find, and I know you guys like to look up part numbers, CCM80. So I think there's more. I think there's 16 of these outside in the ceiling. Makes you wonder if they can be used for Atmos, because they're all ceiling. And again, that's the projector, the XBR. Now I think it's a few $1,000s. This one needs a new lamp. And what's interesting is they actually have a spare lamp right there. But what's interesting about technology that we all know is that even if you come across finds like this, and they say, hey, look, you know what? You can take that thing home. This is yours. The fact is, it just doesn't really match up to a lot of cheaper things that we have now in their simplicity. So it's crazy how technology, something that was so, you know, high-end just a few years ago, some people won't even take for free because it really won't be able to integrate into what you currently have. Make my way through here. So again, we'll be getting rid of this entire room. And what's interesting, if you look at this table here, it actually rolled in to shoot out there. And they took the projector, spun it around, and shot it out there. So this whole area will be condensed and used as storage. But it's amazing how they'll be able to solve the speaker situation with some either Sonos or some wireless and just a few different dongles. All right, guys, that is the wrap up of this video. This is again in the conference room of my wife's company. We had purchased again a few TVs that we'll be using in conference rooms. Those are going to be Samsungs, but they're still just, you know, they're below the QLED line. And the LG that is here, again, a display this size at 86 inches, size of those feet. Really, really impressive as far as how big these TVs really are. And once we get this up on the wall, you know, with companies, you never know, it might be a few days, it might be a few weeks, we'll actually see how it performs. Because again, a lot of you guys are really interested in LG and Sony displays at Costco that are 86 inches. All right, guys, I am Brian at WhisperStatus74. Thank you as always. I will see you in the comments, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.